Hi everyone, Maria McGrath here, founder of Restore Balance and Harmony, talking to the amazing Roz today. Roz is, I'll just have a quick introduction, she's an author of 10 best-selling international best-selling books. She is a mediator, a communication coach, a corporate trainer and a funeral celebrant. So she's got a lot of different things under your belt, Roz. Welcome. Thanks so much for chatting with me today.
My pleasure.
I just wanted to start giving Roz an opportunity to have a quick introduction. Tell us about your life, your journey to where you are right now.
Okay, so I've been on a personal development journey for a number of years, and it really, so I've done work with Jack Canfield, Chicken Soup for the Soul,
Wow.
Tony Robbins, I did his course, Walked on
Yeah.
Fire,
Yep.
and I've just been really aware that there was so much I didn't know about myself and relationships and, how to let baggage go.
Yep.
And I think really what was the crunch for me was about 20 years ago, my sister suicided, and I thought, I've really got to up the ante on this and find out what really holds people back. I rationalised it that she had she had cancer of the thinking.
Right.
That's the way I could live
Yeah.
with what happened. But I made a commitment then to learn whatever I could to make sure it never happened to me, and whatever I could to help other people so that they didn't go down that path. So I've done some terrific work with landmark education, which has been brilliant. I've done conflict coaching, done work in deep democracy. I'd actually enrolled to do a PhD, and then I thought, no, I really just want to be called doctor and upgraded on the plane. Not a good reason to spend 6 years narrowing your area of research. And also I'd spent so many years developing a very open genre with my books, really easy to read books. I thought I didn't want to make it really, didn't want to go down the academic path and ruin everything that I'd done there. So my goal then was, well, any course that comes along, if I think it's of value to me or people I work with, I'll do it. And that's, that's what I've done.
Yeah. So 20 years worth of courses and
Absolutely.
education, spending time, getting to know yourself.
Absolutely.
And getting to know tools that can help others.
Yeah, looking at, because if you think about it, you, me, Mother Teresa, Bill Clinton, even Trump, all of us at one stage were beautiful little babies, and then stuff happened.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
then that stuff happens that makes us our personalities. It gives us our personalities, and sometimes that's really empowering. One of my stories is, you throw it at me and I can do it, and which is great because, I've got my class 4 truck license, I've been a caterer on the trains, been a bulldozer, anything I had to do to bring in money to keep the family going, I'd do that. I've been in charge of the positive parenting program and children of parents with mental illness. So I know that I can do anything, but on the other hand, that story is often disempowering because often I take on things that I shouldn't do, that are beyond my reach. So the beauty of all the self-education is to look at, well, what are the stories I've created about myself? Do they empower me or do they disempower me? And to be aware of them, and where possible, let them go. So the journeys I've been taking, I intend to leave the baggage behind rather than carry it with me.
Good. And I guess the reason why I wanted to have this conversation with you is because I think it's really important for women to know that we can let go of that baggage, and it is a really, really healthy thing to work on our emotions and work on releasing this baggage, and not necessarily thinking that we have to have a mental health issue to do that, but it's just a part of our journey to getting to be the best version of ourselves, to improving and growing and moving forward. Don't you think, Roz?
Oh, absolutely. I think one of the things that Maz Shermer really highlighted for me was, why is it that some people can have this incredible life or near-death experience and their life changes like that, and they give up their stories and they live life to the full?
Yeah.
And wouldn't it be great if we didn't have to go through that experience, but we could still come out with, I'm going to live life to the full, I'm going to let go of the past. And I guess that was, one of the, a number of things that really attracted me to Creatrix.
I was going to ask. What was it that spoke to you about? Was it, and I will ask because knowing how many different things you have done, was it that this has a female specific focus? Was that something that attracted you?
Oh, yes, it really was something very definitely that attracted me, because I've been aware in our society there are many very wonderful, clever women, and yet they're not living their life to the full. You know, we've got so much domestic violence. You know, I've been in a situation where I've been abused too, and I think, why is it? What's happening to women? So for me, it was Maz's interest and highlighting of epigenetics.
Yes.
You know, the fact that it's come down through generations. When she brought that to my mind, to my light, I realised, oh, my great grandmother suicided. When I went back to Germany to visit my relatives, I heard about all these people that had suicided. And then when I looked in my own family in Australia, I had 2 cousins, one who overdosed. And what did the other one do? The other one suicided too. So, you know, there I was thinking that my sister's suicide is a one-off, but there was something in our genetics, in our family, that I thought, I really, you know, got to waken up to.
And it would have given you a better understanding, perhaps, and it might not be the right word, but that it wasn't a one-off. It wasn't something that, you know, perhaps somebody in the family did, or, you know, did you ever have any kind of struggle with why she did what she did, when now you can say, well, you know, it's something that goes back. It wasn't necessarily her or something that happened specifically in her life that did that.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a whole range of things. What was that thing that Mad says, you know, in a 300-year history?
9 million women in 300 years were put to death for being deemed to be a witch.
Yeah, which I think is incredible. So what, you know, I used to think, oh, genetically, it's, you know, the sperm and the ova get together. It's just the physical traits that get carried through.
Yeah.
But to me, it's quite obvious, the emotional traits. You read stories of people who've had a heart transplant, and all of a sudden they've got a craving for burgers.
Yeah.
And the person who owned the burger, who had the heart, used to love burgers. You know, so there is so much we don't know.
Yeah.
And, you know, like one tiny sperm and one tiny ova, why not? If they can take all those physical characteristics, why can't they take on the emotional, the good and the bad?
Yeah, they're
the
in our
emotional
DNA.
baggage. Well, how many kids do you realise who've, you know, might be donor inseminated, and they find out they love music, and they find out that the donor was a famous musician, or so there's there's so much more that we don't know, and Creatrix goes into that area to help women realise, well, what's making us the way we are? Why is it that we're not standing up for ourselves? What do we need to do to have our voice back in the world?
Absolutely. So in talking a bit more about Creatrix, because I know that you've done so much, was there specifics about it that appealed to you, like after you had been and learnt and went through that are different, you know, than the results you got with other things, or the way that it...
Well, I mean, I think my husband and I had the best conversation we'd had for years straight after I'd done the course.
Yeah.
And I could do what you're doing, but to be honest, I'm at a stage of my life where I love being a grandma, and I've got a lovely balance in work and whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm really happy to suggest to women, hey, this is something you really need to consider. But it wasn't something, I'm committed to it in my heart, but it's not something I want to do on a...
To be a transformologist, actually helping women, because Roz trained, she went through the actual course. She wasn't just a client, she went through and learnt the ins and outs, the deep, how Creatrix works.
I really needed to know that to understand the value of it, because I feel very strongly that who I am as a person, my level of integrity, and what my word is in the world, if I say something, I mean it, you know, and there'd have to be a pretty good reason for me not to be telling people the truth, or not being really honest about what I felt and how I experienced it.
Yeah. So what would you say to women out there who are watching this and thinking, you know, do I want to go down that path or don't I? For me, I want to encourage women to own their emotional stuff and not think of it as a mental health issue.
Absolutely.
Because we're in motion, ladies. We are full of emotion. You know, from the moment we're born, we're going through and everything, every experience, every conversation, we attach emotion to it. And something that's really come up even with just the last couple of clients, there have been women who said, I don't know why I feel this way, but I should be able to deal with this. Why can't I deal with this? And why am I stuck? And why is this happening? You know, I have a good family. There's been no major trauma in my life. Why am I feeling so terrible? And I want them to know that that's natural because of this epigenetics that we've been talking about, this emotion that we have and we store and we've been inherited. And it's so easy to let it go and to feel better about yourself and to continue that journey, being the best version of yourself.
Absolutely. I think, I guess I'm a would-be psychologist. I was one unit off getting my entry into the Australian Psychological Society, and I must have been very arrogant at the time. I thought, I'll bugger you. Oh, sorry. If you're not prepared to take me, I'm not going to do it. And in a way, that was good because that meant I haven't been constrained by any ideology. I mean, I certainly abide by professional ethics for my mediation and a number of other memberships that I have, but it meant that I could take on then whatever courses and interests that I thought really, timeline therapy and, a whole range of things that I could use that with that person or this with that person.
Yeah.
And, that's what, I can see that Creatrix offers something that many of the other courses don't offer. And the fact that it's based on female psychology, which is really... So you asked me what got me in was, most people know about the fight or flight syndrome, which I talk about and train about in my work. And then we realised that, that was developed by men for men and it's really relevant and important to them. But for those of you listening or watching, if someone came into your house and was about to do terrible things to you, you wouldn't flee or fight. You'd gather your children around and protect them. So women have a tend or befriend nature. They're not going to go in and fight. And, things like that. And think, oh my goodness, what else don't we know? What else have we considered is standard behaviour for women, and it's not.
It's not. That's right. And it because men were the stronger and the educator, they were the doctor, they were, all of those things throughout history. One of the reasons why there were so many women killed, through that period in time was because they weren't allowed to be doctors. They weren't allowed to say they could heal themselves with herbs or any of that other stuff. But because the males were the teachers, I guess, their male mind came up with every piece of information and education that we've had. And I'm not saying anything bad. They have created a process that makes sense to them. And they are believing that they are helping us where they just don't know what goes on within the female mind because they've never been in there. And that's just, fact. And they have the ability to be more logical. 1 out of 5 women have more logical brain, but most of us, we're just pure emotion. We run on emotion. Everything that we see, every face that we look at, we attach emotion to it. We can think someone, that woman that we're going to sit with to have lunch with, she's already cranky or by the look of her face. We notice those details where a man won't. And we'll think, oh my goodness. The first thing we'll think, is it me? What did I do? Has she got the shits with me?
Remember when you first came in, I was talking to you about that article I read on the wellness wardrobe. And part of the reason I'm having trouble getting rid of so much clothing in my wardrobe is like 2 of my favourite dresses have got these big, beautiful polka dots on them.
Yeah.
And I got them from one of the most war-torn places in the world, from Sarajevo. And I'm thinking, I don't want to let those dresses go. I'm emotionally attached. Or I bought something with a cousin in Germany, or everything's got...
Everything.
So that's just the wardrobe.
Yeah.
Incredible.
And we attach it to everything.
Yep.
And we tend to overflow. And we struggle with the weight of that emotion. We have good emotions and great emotions, but the negative ones, the painful ones tend to be heavier. Yeah. And they weigh us down, and that can just be what's going on. And I really want to get away from saying that you have to be at the bottom of the barrel before you reach out for help, because there is a better way to live, with joy, with happiness, with a lightness, when you're not carrying these emotions. And goodness knows where they come from. They could have, been from 10 generations ago, or they could have been from yesterday. Yeah. So if there was someone, what would you say to a woman who's watching this who is thinking, you know what, I am struggling? Is it guilt or sadness or loneliness or anger or frustration? You know, what would you say?
Maria, what you've got is an incredible tool for people to let go of emotions really quickly, really painlessly, really beautifully.
Yeah.
And they come out, and when we see with the Marie Kondo and the wardrobe, you're going to clean out your inner wardrobe. You're going to spark joy in everything that you do and everything that you be. And why isn't that the way to live life? You know, let the baggage go, let the old wardrobe go, and spark joy in who you are, how you relate to yourself, how you relate to others, and have your voice back. That's what we want for women, to have their voice, so that you're powerful in the world.
Yeah, I truly believe if we all have our own confidence, that self-worth and self-respect, then that's half the battle won.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because right now, and when we talk about all this equality, you know, it's great as this massive big voice, but if we individually shrink when we walk into the boss's office and don't have the confidence to say, you know what, well, I deserve that raise, or, you know, I want to do this job or that job or something else, you know, the wider, you know, worldwide community of women can't help you in that situation. But if you are there and you have your own power, and every woman has her own power, then that is a force to be reckoned with, really.
Absolutely. Well, they know in work situations, I've seen it with my own family, women will apply for a job only when they're 100% sure that they meet all the criteria. Yeah. Men will apply for a job when they think, 50%, yeah, I can do that.
Yeah.
And that's the attitude they have. So what holds us up? Why aren't we thinking, well, of course we can do it? We know deep down we can. We know on many occasions we'd be much better than a lot of other people.
Yeah.
But you know, we've got to get our voice out. We've got to get our confidence out, and that's what Maria's work in Creatrix does. It creates you as the beautiful, wonderful woman that's really deeply in there. Let's see you spark and joy.
Yeah.
Joyfully live your life.
Yeah, it's getting rid of all of those layers that are you. That confidence is there somewhere within you, and that self-love and self-worth and self-respect. It's there. It's just layered by other emotions that have come. You know, other people that may have told you, or your mother or grandmother throughout history, that you're not good enough, or you're not smart enough, or any other version of, you know, it could be 1,000 different things. But, you know, and we've been suppressed. You know, we take that and we hold it and we take it in and we shrink ourselves, really. And then someone else says something, or we perceive that somebody else has said something, and it's the same thing. We just keep layering and layering and layering this emotion until we just have no voice. We have no confidence. We have no, I was there, I know what it feels like not to have confidence, to think that I didn't fit in, to think that I, you know, wasn't strong enough or smart enough to be on video talking to women and doing all this kind of work. My goodness, no. There was most of my life, 40 years of it, I would not have thought that I could do this, that anyone would want to listen to what I have to say. But it was, painless and easy to get rid of it. And now I know that this is something that I'm meant to do, is to help women be the best version of yourself. It's you know, it's definitely worth a visit.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So if you're watching this, if you've got to this far in the video, then hey, talk to Maria and just find out what the next step is, because obviously whatever we've said has resonated with you, and you have the possibility of really being, you know, sparking, joyful, really living your life to the full, and that's what we'd want for you and for every other woman you know as well. Yeah.
And thank you so much, Roz, for chatting with me today. And the reason why I got Roz on was because she has done so many other things. You know, this wasn't just the first piece of personal development that she's done to say that this, you know, works and has merit and it's great for females. You know, she's done so many things over 20 years. So
but this was the first one designed by women for women.
Yeah.
And that's, I mean, it was so good. I really encouraged my daughter to do it, which she did as well. So, you know, that says something, that it wasn't just for me. Not that I felt that I had any major issues, but I did. I resolved things. There were issues of guilt and not having my own voice in my relationship with my husband the way I'd like to have it. Yeah. So there's always, you know, if you're on this path, there are always things that you can let go of. But if this has really triggered something, then, you know, take the
Reach
next
out.
step.
Yeah. It doesn't have to be, on the floor, terribly distressed, to reach out and do a clearing of whatever's holding you back, whether it's business, success, whatever. Anyway, we will leave it there.
Yes,
Thank you
because I can
so
hear
much.
grandchildren in the background.
They've arrived. Thank you so much for watching.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for
thanks,
trusting
Roz.
us.
And we reach out. You can message me, go on to Restore Balance and Harmony, and reach out. I'll put a link in under this video as well. So I look forward to hearing from you soon. Bye for now.
Live powerfully.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you.